This is Boxes and Briefs, a podcast with real-life business stories. But we will be asking the hard questions and challenging traditions. So broaden your thinking with fresh perspectives and solve problems for business success. Welcome to another episode of Boxes and Briefs. My name's Lisa.
I'm Kelly.
And today we have with us the No Shock Electrical team. Hi guys.
Morning.
How's it going?
Good. So you guys both own No Shock.
Yes.
And you provide electrical solutions for residential and commercial customers, and it's Auckland-wide.
Yes, that's right. Correct.
Everywhere.
Yep.
All right. So tell me, how did it start? Why did you decide to become a business owner?
So I started back, it was about 14 years ago now, actually. I was working for another company, and the direction that company was going in and my direction just basically parted ways. So I was in a pub with a mate of mine in Ellerslie, funnily enough, and we were just having a few beers and having a yarn and complaining about our work jobs, work life. And so we both decided then and there to start our own companies. And within 6 months, both of us have started our own companies, and they're both still going, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
6 months, though.
Yeah,
that's not a lot of time.
That's fast.
No, we just jumped into it. I think he actually started within 2 or 3, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So was it born of frustration then?
Yeah, just to see if I could do it, see what was out there, and see, the challenge, a different direction for myself, and it was really just, can I do this? Can I take the plunge and see what happens?
See what happens.
Yeah.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So in the 14 years, is there a moment where you felt like you'd made it?
There's times when you feel like you're definitely achieving your goals and you're wanting to get there. I think the first time I felt like I'd actually achieved what I wanted to do was when I started out a 5-year plan. So I was going to work for 5 years, and if I had 5 staff, then that was my goal. And then I was going to carry on. And if I didn't have the 5 staff after the 5 years, I was going to go, right, I'll go back to wages. And
Why 5?
I don't know, just seemed like a good
Just
number.
pulled a number out of
Yeah.
the base the rest of your life
Sounds
on it.
good.
There was a few beers involved, eh? So, and then 5 years came along, and we had, I think it was 7 employees. And I was like, sweet,
Yeah.
cool. So this is working, so let's carry on. Let's actually dig deep and see where it's going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then when did you come into it, Matt?
About 7.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you've got your 7 staff, you've been going for 5 years, and a couple of years later, Matt comes along.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you choose No Shock?
No Shock chose me.
Oh.
No. No, I'd actually just had enough of same sort of scenario. I had enough of the guy that I was working with. I threw in the towel with him, and it was actually an ex-employee of No Shock, who was also a friend of mine, and he just approached me and said, "Hey, I saw that you're now looking for a job."
Yeah.
He's like, "Can I introduce you?" And then hooked me up with Shamus, and went and had a coffee, and the rest is history.
Oh. So does that mean, like, I'm kind of hearing that electrical bosses might not be so good?
No, not really. A lot of guys out there are awesome, to be honest. One of my bosses that was with that company, the previous company I was with, we still catch up for beers on a semi-regular basis. I still call him and go, hey, look, if I've got a problem, I'll give him a call and go, hey, man, how would you approach this?
Okay.
So, no, not at all. I think it was just more... it was quite a big company back then. Like, they were actually a Wellington-based company, and they were up here. And the general manager, I wasn't gelling with him as opposed to some of the other bosses, I think.
Right.
And just the way the company was headed wasn't my ideal goal
Yeah.
or ideal path. So, but no, most bosses I've had have been pretty cool,
Okay.
to be honest.
Good.
So,
Squash that remedy.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys have gone through a bit of a dip in coming up again in business. So that's kind of the story that we wanted to talk about and share.
Cool.
So tell us about the bad stuff, and then what happened in the bad stuff and how it's now become good stuff.
Do you want to take that one?
I'll start. So it kind of all started with, I think it was after COVID. We got real busy, and everything kind of moved and excelled really fast. But the business was sitting at like losses, like month after month after month. And we both sat down and we're scratching our heads, trying to work out what's going on. And, we're like looking through numbers, we're looking through productivity, we're looking through this, looking through that. And it actually all came back to efficiency and the guys just weren't quite doing what they're doing.
So they're taking too long on a job, or
yeah, they were just taking too long. And there were days when I think I certainly was babysitting more so than anything else. I'd like turn up to go check on them, and I'd end up having to tell them exactly what to do and how to do their job. Obviously, not ideal. It's not how you want to run a business, and it's not how you want your guys to be portraying their work.
Yeah.
So that kind of was the start of it, and then obviously loss after loss after loss kind of leads to a bad path, and it kind of just put us in a position of going, well, we have to make some changes here.
Yeah.
And that
So that meant letting people go.
Yeah.
Over what time frame was this happening? The figuring out and the letting
Realistically,
people
it's probably a 2-year time frame.
go? 2 year time frame.
Yeah. So we had those massive highs. Everything was going really well, but in the work side of things, it seemed like everything was flowing really well, and the highs were coming in and were super busy, and everything looked golden. And then you look at the numbers, and it was like, oh, that's actually really bad.
Okay.
So, and we can see a downward trend happening. We had a business coach on as well, and we're all working together really hard to try and figure out what was going wrong and why these numbers weren't stacking up. And we looked at every single facet of the business except for productivity, really.
Okay.
And then we started looking deep into that. Excuse me. And sorry, I've got a cold, so my throat's all.
Oh, you got sexy radio voice.
Oh no, sexy. Yeah, right. So we started digging down into the productivity of people. Like Matt was saying, the productivity wasn't there, and people weren't performing, or they were doing the wrong things. And during that time, there was those massive staff shortages, and we employed a couple of guys that through employment agencies.
Yeah.
And all the big references and all the background checks, and when they got onto the jobs, they did their 3-month trial, and these guys just plummeted out. Just absolutely bombed.
Okay.
And when you're spending, 10, 15 grand to employ people,
Yeah.
it takes big hits.
And the time for training as well.
And the time for training, and it can help create negative impacts on the rest of the team, and that also brings more morale down. And so it was a bit of a snowball effect that we didn't catch soon enough. So it was a great learning curve.
Yeah.
It sucks to go through. But,
well, I'm guessing that before you laid people off, you were trying to bring them up to speed and make them better and make changes.
We spent a good solid year
Yeah.
on trying to get them to pick up everything,
Yeah.
just raise the bar. Unfortunately, during that year, we did have a few monkeys in the barrel. But, you just have to drip feed certain people a few things. And if they don't pick it up, then you kind of got to make that call.
Yeah. Well, I imagine figuring out that line to make that call, that's the hard part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I guess the hardest part of that is you feel like you're failing, right?
Yeah.
So everything's going downhill, and then you've got to go to your staff, or we've got to sort of make that decision. It's like, right, I've got to knock a lot of people off, basically.
Yeah.
Make them redundant, and that's quite a ego blow.
Yeah.
Like it's a massive ego blow. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And to do that, and then you've got to reflect on what you have done, and it's like, what have I done? And it sort of comes back into this huge circle of doubt and fear and all the rest of it. And it's like, shit, where did we go wrong? What do we do? How did it get to this point?
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I guess, a bit of a Band-Aid as well. Like you rip the Band-Aid off, it hurts like hell, and then you realise, oh, actually, that's gone away.
The wound's going to heal.
Yeah, and it's all good.
You solved the problem.
Yeah, really did.
Effectively.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
so how big were you?
So we had 14.
Our max was 14.
Yeah.
We had a few guys leave just of their own accord,
Yeah.
moving away or moving to different things. And I think by the time we ended up going through redundancies, we were at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I think it was 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we ended up dropping down to 4.
Okay. So you're an owner now. How did that go from employee to an owner? Shamus?
Made it work hard. Yeah, so same thing, like when you get to a certain size, you've got to think about where the direction the company's going, right? And how do you either keep taking on the mantle and keep rolling it into yourself, but sometimes you need a break. And Matt was doing really well, project managing and site managing and running the guys. And I could see we're sort of on the same path and the same idea strings, I guess, to getting the company to flow the way we want it to or need it to.
Yeah.
So I just basically approached Matt and said, hey, what do you think about becoming a shareholder and getting in on the go?
He says approach me. He hassled me for a good year or two.
Did he have to win you over?
No, it's not that I wasn't interested. It was kind of like,
I was hanging the carrot.
was the timing right? Was it where I wanted to go? Like,
All the big life questions.
yeah. It was. It's like, you know, you own a business. You're kind of like, okay, I'm tied here.
Yeah.
Like, is Auckland where I want to be? Is Auckland where I want to stay? And it really was like a big question, and it wasn't just considering myself, but my family as well. Like, it was like, okay,
of course.
how do we want to approach this? And yeah, it was a big call. It was a great call.
It's an interesting time too because it was all around COVID, so
Yes.
there's so much going on.
It was
Yeah, but
Okay, so the order of things was bad productivity.
No,
Matt's
no,
on.
No, the other way.
No.
How?
Matt came on board during some pretty good times actually,
Yep.
and then COVID, and then super like intense work, and that that year after COVID when everyone was just slammed and everything was
Yeah.
going nuts.
Trying to survive.
Yeah, and then the big downturn, and then redundancies, and now rebuild.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of been through all the crap as well now.
Yeah. great start to my business life. Nah, no
Always
regrets.
started a recession.
Was there anything that was even more surprising through the journey? Something that you just didn't see coming as business owners?
Oh, there's lots of little things, but major things. Every day there's something new that comes along, either a challenge or a win or something, and you've got to look at these. It could be tiny and minute, but you've got to look at everything and try and build on the whole lot to make sure it's what you want. Like a win is not always what you want. Some wins are bad wins.
in what
Some
way?
losses are good losses. So
What, you lose a client that you didn't like?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Which
you lose
Okay.
staff you don't like. You go through a redundancy period because you've everything that we've been going through. Some wins, you might win a client that you don't actually want, and they become nothing but a bane to your existence.
Why don't you just say no?
Well, you don't know sometimes.
Oh.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's too late.
Sometimes I mean, we love all of our clients, and we work really. Actually, yeah, we do. We love all of our clients. There's a couple that we've had to let go because of those reasons, and because they became extraordinarily demanding and over demanding of what you're offering.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
get so much more out of you for so much less.
Yeah.
They always say you go for that 5%, right?
Yep.
So we have actually let a few go through this process as well, just because they were great people but not good customers, and that's a huge difference as well.
Oh, well put. Well put for any of those ex-clients who are listening.
Boxes and Briefs is proudly brought to you by Gilligan Shepherd, the problem solvers in business.
Right, so many entrepreneurs talk about the emotional roller coaster that's running a business. It's got its highs, it's got its lows. You've got to look after yourself. So how do you guys do that?
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Maybe whiskey.
I think
I mean,
our next guest is
you know-
Alcoholics Anonymous.
When everything's running great, it's not just that we feel good, but you see the actual culture in the business.
Yeah.
The guys are thriving, they're all chatting, they're all having a laugh. You turn up to site to go have a visit, and you can see they're all laughing about and having a good time with each other. That's what you want.
Yeah.
And it's when it goes to a bad time, how do they bounce back from that? So if you've got the culture there and something goes wrong, chances are you've got someone else in the background who's going to go, hey, it's okay, we'll sort this together. And that's kind of what we've got at the moment.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great. The guys pick each other up, carry when they need to, try not to, but when they need to, and they just look after each other.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, we kind of do that in the office.
Yeah, and there's a healthy banter as well. Like when you're having a bad day, you can sort of read that someone's having a bit of a crappy one.
Yeah.
And so you kind of, that healthy banter always goes a long way.
There's a line somewhere though, right?
There's definitely a line. Yeah. And you've
Because you don't want them just to be having fun all day. They've got to get the work done.
oh yeah. Like everyone knows when it's time to get on to work and get cracked into it.
How do they know?
Because we tell them. No, not at all. Everyone knows. Like, I guess that's what's good about our team right now. Like, they just know when to get in and get it done.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, we have a Monday morning meeting every week. We go through basically our last week, our highs and our lows of the week, and ideally where we're going with this week.
Okay.
And you can sort of see if there's any issues. Then people bring up stuff, and we've got one guy in the office that's really good at bringing up lots of issues. Well, not issues even, just what's going on and where they're finding trouble spots and where they're finding the easy spots.
Okay.
And it's actually really helps us in the office
Yeah.
to sort of, right, okay, that's where we need to redirect traffic.
Yep. It's kind of keeping it in.
Yeah. And with the mental health, I think personally, a bit of whiskey,
Yeah.
a lot of it. But no, there's so many things, like there's that whole time going through the redundancy, that was quite a dark period for me personally and for as well.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. So exercise, that changed a lot. I was doing a lot of exercise this time last year. I was going hard. Blew my knee out, so I haven't done much.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so loads of good regular exercise, good sleep, and having good communication with your partner at home. That's key, critical. You do mindfulness as well, right?
Mindfulness, yeah.
Yeah.
That's practicing
What does that look like?
Just sitting down. It's just about being mindful of your surroundings, what's happening at the moment, what's happening in your head, what's happening around you, and just actually being grateful for everything, no matter what. I think you said at BNI the other day, even when something bad has happened in your day, you've had the worst day of your life, you can sit back and you can reflect. You'll find at least one good thing that happened.
Yeah.
And the second you find that, all of a sudden you've just flipped everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, made a massive difference.
Excellent. I like
And
that.
play.
And
Lots of play. Go home and play with the kids. If you're having a shit day, just call up the boss and go, or if you are the boss, hey, actually, today I'm having a shitter. I'm going to go home and knock off early, grab my son from work or school, whatever, or your kids. Just go out in the park on a nice day and go throw a ball around.
So it's making space for it.
Yeah.
If they need it, they can have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Love that. Because I would say that the trades in general have got a bit of a reputation, right? There's not a lot of mindfulness.
No, there's a
I
real
would
stigma
relate to
around
normally.
men's health and tradies.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible. Guys don't talk to each other. Guys don't open up.
Yeah.
Guys hold on to it, and then it just ends up in the wrong way.
Yeah. I think there's quite some scary statistics around
Oh, it's
trades.
terrible.
No,
It's horrible.
it's really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some awesome companies and associations out there doing a lot for
Yeah.
tradies.
Your mates in construction.
Yeah, Mates Construction, Gumby
Very good
Friday,
one.
all those guys.
Okay.
Doing some really, really cool stuff. And it is starting to open up the building sites. You can actually see a change. It's very slow because tradies are a bit slow on it. We're getting there. But no, it's cool. It's really good to see that something is happening and people are aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. Yeah.
Time for change.
Yeah. And then we're getting a lot more ladies in the industry now as well. And I think that's a great thing. That's really cool. See the girls getting in there and showing up the boys.
Oh,
And
really?
It's starting to lift the game a bit, it's cool. Yeah, it's real good.
Actually, though, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So, what's the most valuable piece of advice you would give? You for starting a business, you for joining a business. If anybody else is thinking of doing the same thing, what's the best piece of advice you've got?
Don't be afraid. Just give it a go. There's heaps of good associations out there, especially, say, like if you're a Sparky, you've got master electricians and they've got really good documentation on how to start a business, how to check your numbers, how to follow through. Even Xero does a lot of really good stuff towards that.
Okay.
Same with the plumbers. They've got the master plumbers, and
Yeah.
I guess it's on the same sort of par. But yeah, don't be afraid. Just have a nudge. The worst case is you fail, but failing is just a stepping stone to success.
Yes.
Right?
It's not a failure
So-
to learn.
Yeah, it's a lesson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I've been in business 14 years. I've done a lot of failures, a lot of successes, but they've all come off the back of something that I've done wrong. So, you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be
Cool.
afraid to keep going.
Matt,
Similar. Don't be scared.
it took you a year.
It did take me a year. In that year, there was a lot of questions asked, and it wasn't just to myself and to my family, but actually to employees of No Shop going, "Hey, I've been offered this. What are your thoughts on it?" Because it's not just me going in and being like, hey, just so you know, I'm not your boss. It's like, hey, I want to know, what are your thoughts on this change? There may be a change, it may not happen. I don't know. What are your thoughts around it?
Okay.
And then there were a couple of other guys that I spoke to who had been through the process, and I just went to them and I was like, realistically, what are your thoughts? Has it worked for you? Is it the right thing to do? And he said, 100%. He's like, I've never made a better call in my life. I mean, shit.
Yeah, paid that guy well, eh?
All right, so what's the future for No Shock? Where are you guys going?
Upwards.
Yeah, there's so many plans we've got in the background working away. So it's basically just growth, really. Same as everything else, but it's growing not just in electrical, it's different divisions. So we want to get on a data MATV sort of low voltage type company and develop that. We've got a mechanical side now, which is growing quite well. So it's just getting those sections going, departments going, and building really good tradies. Like the history of No Shock is we've had a lot of good apprentices come through, and we've trained up some really, really good sparkies out of it.
Okay.
And really proud of that. The guys, the team from start to finish, or start to where we are now, we've developed some really cool guys.
Yeah.
So really proud of that. And so if we can keep that sort of legacy going and just help develop future tradies, that's a win.
It's changing the industry, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, which is cool.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Same boat? Growth?
Yeah, it's all about growth.
Yeah.
It's all about finding those opportunities.
How often do you guys talk about it?
Oh, probably monthly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At a minimum.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, if our listeners want to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
Smoke signals.
And you can check out our website if you want.
Sure. The website.
Yeah, No Shock.
www.noshock.co.nz.
That's the
Yeah.
one.
We're on LinkedIn as well. Instagram,
Yep.
Facebook,
Yep. And you're
Yeah.
dog people, right? I've seen that on your Instagram.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally
Animal lovers.
animal lovers.
Oh, animal lovers.
We'll just go with animal lovers.
Gross.
No Shock, electricians and
Although
animal
we-
lovers.
We lost our mascot in January.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Time
unfortunately.
for another one.
Not quite yet.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
All right,
Thanks
thank
very
you.
much.
All right.
Awesome.
Boxes and Briefs is proudly brought to you by Gilligan Shepherd, the problem solvers in business.